Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Friday. Come on. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and Boston Scientific. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And, of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! It's Friday night. Hey, man. It was only right. I was thinking about what direction do I want to go into today. I said it's Friday. You had a bunch of awards going on. It's Radio Row. It's the off season. Let's roll that TV back out, baby. Let's roll that TV back out. Look, we got to slow roll a lot of things, man. No more football talk in the sense of game to game. So we got to roll the TV out from time to time. And today's going to be a little different. We got a little twist on today's Feel Good Friday, whatever you want to call it. We'll have a Will's Wheel of Fortune is how we will handle today. So there'll be a bunch of topics on the Wheel of Fortune. We'll spin it, and we'll just talk about that. And there's some cool things on there, some fun things on there, some fun topics, some normal football topics. But it will all surround mostly about what happened yesterday and then in the last few days in Cowboys Nation and NFL land. And in the roundup, I think it was Landlord who brought it to my attention, the whole joystick thing from Michael Lombardi. We'll take a listen to that, and we'll have some fun with the roundup in regards to Michael Lombardi down at Radio Row speaking with the G-Bag Nation about the Cowboys offensive coordinator situation and their direction. With that said, man, happy Friday, Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
It wouldn't be a toxic Tom Downey comment without that wheel of misfortune. You know what? I ain't even mad at you, dog. I ain't even mad at you. But this is what the wheel of fortune will look like. Make sure. There we go. And we got a number of different topics. My favorite right there is phone a friend. So we'll see if we land on that. We might not do all of these. We may not. We'll see what happens. You can call in if you'd like. 351-999-3787. Shouldn't be a particularly long show today. We'll try to have some fun with it, but I don't foresee this being a 2-hour plus type of show. But if you want to call in and talk about whatever, it is Fan Friday. It's your day. We can do that, Cowboys Nation. All right? So, with that said, man, let's just jump straight into this because I saw the Kelly Clarkson. That was pretty interesting, the whole thing she had, the little get-up she had on yesterday. Last night at the awards show was pretty cool. But let's get into the roundup because I want to talk about this, man. I thought this was hilarious by Michael Lombardi. But here we go, Cowboys Nation.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Here we go. Hey, yo. So Landlord from Wakanda, a.k.a. Alabama. It's really not Wakanda. But he called in yesterday. And he's like, hey, did you see Michael Lombardi's interview about Kellen Moore? And it was really a whole lot. There was the Tony Pollard situation he talked about, Ezekiel Elliott, God, that's going to be tough to get out of. Brian Schottenheimer, Mike McCarthy. He said a lot of interesting things in their interview. And man, I could have played like 7 minutes worth of this thing, but I'm not. I'm just going to play the parts where he spoke on Joystick Boy, talking about Kellen Moore, and a little bit about utilizing the weapons. Now, he touches on Ezekiel Elliott. You kind of got to listen to exactly what he says, because if you just take it without really listening, you'd be like, whoa, why would you throw to Zeke? But just take a listen to Michael Lombardi speaking on Kellen Moore and possibly the direction of the Cowboys offense under, I said Marty again, Brian Schottenheimer and Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. you create matchup nightmares like that.
That's how you have to think in personnel. You want players who have versatility. It's one of the frustrating things with me with Joystick. I call Kellen Moore Joystick is because I always felt like he was playing Madden in his basement because he's got Zeke and he's got Pollard. He's got guys that you could really create different matchups and move them around and stay in base and take advantage of the skill set. I've said this for years about Zeke. I don't think Zeke's the same player he once was, but they should have gotten way more out of Zeke in the passing game than they ever did. Zeke was a better pass receiver. He should have been averaging 10 yards a catch, not 5.
Yeah, we thought he had that skill set coming out of college. That's a great point. Now,
it's Michael Lombardi with the show on 105 through the fan. I love the Kellen Moore line. That thing was fantastic, calling Madden plays in his basement. So if the Cowboys upgraded now with Brian Schottenheimer at OC and Mike McCarthy going to call the plays.
Yeah, well, I think here they've given themselves a personality, right? The thing about McCarthy is he's from the West Coast school, right? So he's 20 Bingo Cross, Z-Flank Flair. He's from that era. Brian Schottenheimer's from the numerical system, the 496. He's from the Sid Gilman system of football. But they've worked together because of Marty, the father, right? That's how Mike got started, working for Marty. So they've kind of had this unison. So they see the game, even though the terminology is different, they see the game through the same eyes. And I think they'll have a better way of communicating that. They got to take advantage of their skill players, and they have to. Like, to me, the most disappointing part of the Cowboys season was when they went on the field at 3:08 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Down 7, right? They go on the field, and he calls 3 straight passes when you know you can't punt there. Yeah. You can't punt there. Because they have the best guy in the country in the National Football League of pinning you inside the 20.
Right.
Okay? So even though you have 3 timeouts, they're meaningless because if you punt there, you use your timeouts, you're going to get the ball back inside the 18. You're going to get the ball inside the 15. So now you're going to have to go 90 yards with no timeouts. To me, that's situational football. That's somebody who understands the whole game. Okay, if I would have been the head coach, I would have told Joystick, look, we need to get positive yards on first down. This is what we need to do. Like, we're not punting here, just so you know. Yeah. I don't want 3 incomplete passes. I want something. We're going to 6 yards. We're going to have 4. We're going to move the sticks here. But, naturally, Joysticks, he's got his play sheet. He's just calling plays in the basement.
With a straight face, this man continues to call him Joystick. Yo, Michael Lombardi with a savage interview right there. And he's not even trying to be savage, right? But I just find it hilarious that he calls him Joystick and he's not playing with y'all. This ain't a joke, man. He's out there just with his little play sheet, just calling plays. And we've been saying that for quite some time, And we're just fans and YouTubers and the like. And if we could see that, what make you think people that have been in the NFL can't see it? But we get called crazy. We're not crazy. That's what was happening out there. Now, he said some things that I love there, talking about taking advantage of your skill players. How many times did we come on here and talk about utilizing Tony Pollard in a way where you're getting a mismatch with these guys? He brought up Ezekiel Elliott, and he's right in this part. If you're going, and he talked about this with Tony Pollard, right? I'm going to bring this all back to Ezekiel Elliott. They asked him about paying Tony Pollard. He said, well, he's a weapon. And you can use him in the passing game. And what is it? He said, what is the tag? $10 million? Absolutely. And that's what I've been saying all along. If you're going to bring him back on a $10 million tag or a expensive running back tag, it has to be because you're utilizing him as a dual threat guy. And he said the mistake that Dallas made was when they signed Ezekiel Elliott, they did not continue to utilize him in the passing game. Now that's obsolete. He's not a pass-catching guy. At the time, though, we saw him absolutely crush those screens, and he came out of Ohio State being a guy that can catch the ball out the backfield. So this all kind of comes back together because they're looking to pay Tony Pollard now. If they're not going to do that with TP, which this is a different offensive scheme now, right? Then there's no point in even remotely thinking about it. But if they're going to utilize him in that manner, now we're talking about something different. The Austin Eckler's, the Alvin Kamara's, the CMC's of the world. But, I thought it was hilarious. Called my man Joystick. And if you want to go listen to the whole thing, you can on 105 Through the Fans YouTube page. It's about a 12-minute interview. He talks about Jason Garrett, calls him the clapper. Yo, Lombardi was just throwing out so many Where's my button? He just loaded the clip on a couple dudes. But it was a very interesting conversation, and some of those guys there do not like certain players on this team, and they just had to take it. And I loved it, to be completely honest with you. But insightful interview. I don't even know if insightful. We've been saying the same damn things here on this channel, but it just goes to show you other people see what we're seeing out there, Cowboys Nation. Joystick. Hilarious. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat about that. This just shows how smart is Zeke how smart Zeke was when he signed his contract. Oh, 100% Texas D. I think when Zeke, and we talked about this in 2019 when I just came on the scene of YouTube with Big Game James, I was kind of getting a little bit of pushback because I was saying, look, I'm going to speak for both sides here. I get why Dallas is trying to not sign him right now, but I also get why Zeke is trying to get it. Zeke sees this new Kellen Moore guy coming in here. He ain't Scott Linehan. They want to throw the ball, right? And he's also been used the last 3 years a lot. He's not going to increase. He's going to decrease in regards to how he is because that's the style of running back he is, right? His play, I mean. So Zeke said, I didn't get my money now. It's my money. I want it now. So I didn't blame Zeke for that. But I also didn't blame the front office for playing hardball and trying not to pay that money. But they caved. They got scared and they caved. And they shouldn't have caved at that time. But absolutely, he was smart for doing that. His people were smart. Toxic said Lombardi showing you the problem is much bigger than the players. The organization is rotten from the top. We know we need to get a Captain Obvious gift. Anytime I say something that's Captain Obvious or y'all say something that's Captain Obvious, we need a Captain Obvious gift. 100%. It's an organizational problem from the top to bottom, for sure. Joystick. No, Joe T. Joystick does not sound like that at all. Yes, Lombardi was a GM in the league, I believe, with the Browns, maybe the Texans or something like that. So over it said, I hate when they waste players' years. You love Zeke. Yeah, the Cowboys been doing that for quite some time, right? Ban said, I imagine Zeke might have lasted longer had we sent him on passing versus pounding him down the middle. Hey, that could be because, when you get those swing passes, usually you're already out there on the boundary around the sideline. You can just run out of bounds as opposed to, taking all those hits. But, Zeke, I don't know if Zeke helped himself during those years. I mean, the other thing that I was saying about the Cowboys during that time was like Zeke's off-field situation was questionable too. And I'm not even just talking about what happened, coming into the league, but he was doing other things that were questionable. Zeke has matured. He tell you I've matured. So that was that too. And the league has said one more thing, and you're not suspended, you're kicked out the league. So there was a lot going on at that time, for sure. Jay Lombardi said, rest in peace to Austin Eckler's 25 carries. Honestly, it might be rest in peace to Austin Eckler's catches. Unless he goes to LA and he changes up everything that he's done, but he's not a guy that's going to throw the ball to one running back a whole lot. That's not part of his plan. Whereas the West Coast, again, we always make, it's kind of a joke, but it's not. It's check down or touchdown type of situation. You're already calling in on the phone line, so here's what we'll do. Well, yeah, Zeke had that incident, KHY, right? Like the one we talked, the allegations or whatever, where girl was lying, that whole thing. I don't want to go back into that. But he also had the Mardi Gras thing. There was a couple other instances, not super public, but Zeke was a bit of an issue off the field. I don't know if you remember the whole. I don't know if you was here for the late night hype days, but we had Lucky Whitehead on. That was funny too. But there was a lot going on, man. There was just a lot going on leading up to that off the field. And the league sent him that letter and said, you got one more time, bruh, and you're done. So it wasn't as cut and dry as signing Ezekiel Elliott. It wasn't. Well, here's what we'll do. Let's go to the wheel. Let's hit the wheel for the first time. Let's see what it lands on. And then we'll get to the phone lines after that. So here we go, Cowboys Nation. The very first Will's Wheel of Fortune spin. And NFL awards. Did anybody get a chance to check out the NFL awards last night? I think they got a lot of these right, Cowboys Nation. A lot of these were right here. And of course, starting off with the NFL MVP, Patrick Mahomes. Listen, Eagle fans, if you happen to be in here, because we know how y'all are, y'all just pop into these rival chats and for what, I don't know. But if y'all happen to be in here, this was correct. He was the MVP the whole way through. This is no knock on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a fantastic player. He's a good dude. Many teams would love to have Jalen Hurts. I thought it was always crazy that the media, I feel like the media was doing this too, was trying to push this man into this stratosphere of Patrick Mahomes. It's bonkers. But I get it. They were winning. He was scoring a bunch of rushing touchdowns. Their scheme was getting big plays. You know, it looked pretty for the most part. But make no mistake about it. This is the best football player in the national. And it ain't even close. Like, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback, and I don't even think it's remotely close. You lose his Tyreek Hill, still throw. He has the most total yards in NFL history, more touchdowns than Hurts and whoever else, more yards, another 5,000-yard season. We only got to talk about the postseason, just the regular season. Gets the number 1 overall seed, all of that good stuff. I mean, Eagle fans, I think, would even tell you if they remove their, I say remove the Eagle fan hat or remove the Cowboy hat, remove all the hats. Yeah, man, he the best quarterback. Not only was he the best quarterback, he had the best numbers. So I never understood this whole fight of trying to put this Jalen Hurts in this category of Patrick Mahomes. Stop it. So Jalen Hurts got a vote and Josh Allen got a vote, but this should have been unanimous. Easy. There's your MVP right there, man. There's your MVP. And I don't even want to go that far, Chris, because that might offend some people, right? You call him overrated. I hate that word overrated, right? Because I do think he is important to that team. And we saw it when he wasn't in there, right? Like, he was valuable to that team. He is a good player. Is he being helped? Absolutely, he's being helped. I say this all the time. Pat might be the only dude that don't need that type of help. He might be. Seriously. Everybody else need that type of help, if we're being completely honest. Let's get to the rest of the list. See how you feel about it. AP Coach of the Year was Brian Daboll. Have no problems with that. These dudes had no business in the playoffs. Daboll came over with his new scheme, with his new attitude, turned that franchise around right away. I said this when I went back and was looking on some shows with Vach. I said this on Vach's show. I expected the Giants, when they hired the Wink Martindales, the Joe Sheens, the Brian Dabolls, I came on this show and said, man, these are fantastic hires. They're going to be good in a couple of years. I didn't expect it to be right now. They were a competitive team. They won a whole bunch of one-possession games. They had no business in the playoffs and eventually showed after they won a playoff game, but they got there, and he deserved Coach of the Year. I have no problem giving Daboll the Coach of the Year at all. He did a fantastic job in New York, and now they got a decision to make. They got a decision to make. This ain't talking Giants. I'm not going to go there with the Daniel Jones thing. But me, I feel like if they actually get a cue that Daboll wants, I think they'd be fine. Comeback Player of the Year, Geno Smith. Don't think I have a problem with that. I know a lot of people have an issue with the Comeback Player of the Year being a guy that got injured or a guy that, like Geno. Geno, I don't believe was injured. He wasn't that good. I'm not really sure who they would go with injury-wise this year. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of it. But maybe they do need to separate that. Comeback Player of the Year from injury and comeback player or most improved player. I think they need to add that. A most improved player. But I love the line that he said. Y'all remember the line Geno Smith said? The whole, what'd he say? Something about they're writing. What'd he say, y'all? Somebody give me the line that Geno Smith said about, but I ain't writing back. They're writing me off, but I ain't writing back. Love that line. Love that line. And I'm actually happy for Geno Smith because I never disliked Geno. He always was a backup type of guy to me, but just his story is pretty cool to see him have this success and stick around. You kind of forget he's been around for a long, long time. But yes, King Element, they need a most improved player because Geno wasn't hurt last year. He's just probably the most improved. Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson. No issues with that. You could have maybe argued Josh Jacobs. You could have argued one of the quarterbacks. But Justin Jefferson damn near broke the record. Again, he's like, I don't want to call him a baby Moss, but in regards to just breaking these records, like Moss just every year just seemed to break another record. And ironically, he plays for the Vikings. But Justin Jefferson, one of those dudes. And it could be because of, he's getting the ball in that scheme, but it doesn't matter. He's producing and he's a beast. He's one of, if not the best wide receiver in the league, top 5, top 3, wherever you want to put him. He one of them. Offensive Rookie and Defensive Rookie of the Year. This was kind of cool. The Jets goes to show you exactly how well they drafted last year. And I think a lot of us coming out of that draft said, hey, yo, the Jets got some boys. And they got Jermaine Johnson later, too. But Garrett Wilson wins Rookie of the Year. Sauce Gardner wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Well-deserved for both of those dudes. They got some cornerstone guys, man. Cornerstone guys on both sides of the ball. They just need a quarterback. And I'm not talking about go getting Aaron Rodgers. They need to find a way to get a guy that they can mold into their own. Because that's usually how this works. Either you're going to do the Aaron Rodgers thing. Now you got to spend a whole bunch of money and try to win right away. Or get you a guy to mold for the future. Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. Micah Parsons should have won it. Micah Parsons is a better defensive player. Yeah, Nick had more sacks. And that's usually what's going to do it. That pissed me off a little bit. Micah should have got defensive player, but it's cool. Put that chip on his shoulder. He'll come back next year. I'm not even going to go in on it. Let's see. I'm going to save one for a reason because he's on the wheel. And that's about it right now. FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year, Joe Burrow, Josh Jacobs. And then they got some other ones like Assistant Coach of the Year, DeMeco Ryans. Angry Run of the Year, Damian Pierce, and things like that. And Salute to Service award went to Ron Rivera. And we'll leave it at that. There is another award we'll get to, Cowboys Nation on the wheel. If not, we'll just talk about it ourselves. So with that said, first one out the way on the wheel. Let's hit the horn real quick. Hit the Pulse of the Nation hotline presented by the Cochran Firm. Sounds like my guy Michael Irvin might have hit up the Cochran Firm because he just put a $100 million lawsuit on the Marriott. If he didn't, he should, because Larry and Brian down at the Cochran Firm have been representing and fighting and winning for the Dallas-Fort Worth and Houston area since 2005. Whether it be a case like that, a personal injury case, fraud, automobile accident, whatever, you name it, they got you covered. Give them a call at 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule your free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. I want to holler at Coach Marv. I'm pretty sure you're going to want to talk about what Michael Lombardi had to say about Joystick Kellen.
Hey, man.
Good morning. Good morning, Coach.
Been saying.
There you go. You was breaking up a little bit.
You been saying what I.
You were breaking up a little bit, but you're good. You good now, brother. You good now.
Yeah, Michael Lombardi's been saying what I've been saying for the longest about these I call them PlayStation coaches. And you know something? Kellen went to a fit. I had that problem with the San Diego. I'm sorry, saying San Diego. The Chargers coach. Yeah, he's that same way. I think he lost some games with them 2 years ago because we gonna go for on fourth down. We're not going to kick the field goal.
Brandon Staley is Mr. Analytics. Right. He's him and Kellen Moore are going to love each other with this analytics and and kind of wacky stuff. So that'll be interesting to see. You're going to get Brandon Staley making a boneheaded call and Kellen Moore doing a double, triple annexation of Puerto Rico reverse on his 20. Yeah.
Right. And if you look at the Chargers, there was reports, if you look at their season, they had problems when they didn't run the football at all or had attempt to run the ball at all. They struggled, but when they had some resemblance of a run game with Eckler as well as the pass receiver, they were productive. And when they took away the running game from the quarterback because he got kind of hurt, they struggled. So, and that's how you lose big time leads like they had in the playoffs, because you had no clock management of trying to control the tempo of the game.
Yeah, ain't no way you lose a 27-0 lead, bro. Like that's just ridiculous.
Right, and those type of coaches, with that, not knowing the game and not knowing how to control the game. I think the first time I made my on the scene thing with the YouTube Nation back 2 years ago, that was my concern when I first talked to Boss Cowboy, and I was on his show about the running of the ball. That was my first thing that I had a problem with Kellen Moore, was that did he know how to control a football game from the coordinator position? And that's how to control the tempo, how to make sure that your players are being fed in their skill sets, and how you control the tempo of a game. And that is very important to the psyche of football game. Control the tempo. But I want to say,
cool. Coach, you breaking up a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Try to come back in, Coach. You're breaking up a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna call back in, Coach. Let's get 469 on the horn. What's up, 469?
Hey, how's it going? It's Austin.
What's up, Austin?
I called a couple weeks ago, but yeah, well, Patrick Mahomes is getting the MVP award. Our quarterback wants to show his face after that crappy performance and get his little Man of the Year award. Yeah, I'm done with Dak Prescott. I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But
is it me?
He makes some news with the new girlfriend from LSU, and then now going up there, with his Man of the Year award, like he did something this year. I get the off the field stuff. Yeah, it's awesome, this and that. Go get us a Super Bowl. Okay, go grind in silence. Get your butt in the film room. I don't want to see your face till the season starts.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm sick of him. And then all these commercials. He's literally on every commercial. It's like the guy has not won anything. Like, I don't understand it. But if they need
I'm not
really
hanging up Cowboys Nation. I want to go in for sure. So you want a quarterback competition? All right. So you don't like Dak Prescott. You're done with Dak Prescott. But what does that have to do with you being upset that he won Man of the Award for a off-field, achievement for his Faith Fight Finish organization that honors his mother and people that are suffering from mental illness, depression, and other things in their life? Because there are a lot of people like you that I saw on Twitter and social media that said these exact damn same things. I don't care about none of that. Go win us a Super Bowl. The Man of the Year award has nothing to do with that. Do you not care about actual football human beings outside of the field? You don't care about like actual they're humans.
I get it, but here's the
thing.
You
don't get it because you said that you don't care about it.
No, because I feel like here's the thing. I feel like Dak gets a pass because we've fallen in love with.
No, sir. We don't care. We don't care about the on-field thing. I'm asking you about what he has done for many people off the field that you are basically scoffing at because of your disappointment on the field. Why does that affect him as a person?
I just feel like I'm not saying that. I'm saying like I understand the whole organization and I'm with that, but I don't think it's the right time to be showing your face. And I would have just pulled out that award.
Oh, okay. So you're basically saying because he lost in the playoffs, forget everything else that his normal life, that he has a life off the field. He needs to go back in the room and study in the film, even though he is known as the hardest worker on the football team, and it's not even remotely close, though, right? Like you keep saying you don't want to see his face until the season, but do you understand that he is the type of guy that will do exactly that? He will go in and study and things like that, or you don't care about these players having lives off the field?
Well, it definitely hasn't shown because he's
and you brought up his girlfriend. I guess he has a new. He didn't come out and say, "Hey, y'all, I got a new girlfriend." Somebody leaked that he has a new girl or something like that. But so you're upset with him. This is my issue with people that are upset with Dak Prescott on the field. Let's leave it on the field. Like, why are we bringing up his faith fight finish and his relationship off the field and commercials? You're mad that the man is getting paid, getting some money off the field in a country that allows that because of your frustrations on the field.
Well, Tony Romo had.
I really want to know, because I don't get a chance to talk to these many people. A lot of these type of people are on Twitter. I want to know, like, what is the core in you? Like, tell me the exact reason why you don't like this man as a total person, because it sounds like you just are done with the dude in general. Is it because of football?
I like him as a person. I like how he represents the franchise. He's very professional. You'd want a guy like that, but I'm saying talent-wise, because you don't see Brady do. Besides the year he came to Tampa Bay, that first year they did those commercials with him and Gronkowski. But it's like, Brady kind of stays out of the spotlight when it comes to all that. His main focus is football. He takes less money so you can get better players to come in. Dak fleeced us and his agent with that. He demanded all this money, and then it's like, okay, if that's all you, let's see if this is all you, because we had Cooper, we had Gallup, we had Cedric Wilson, and he didn't do anything with that talent.
He didn't do anything. What do you mean he didn't do anything? He had one of the most productive seasons in Cowboy franchise history with those guys. Now, he didn't win a playoff game. They didn't win. What did we do? Right, but don't say he didn't do anything. They didn't win the Super Bowl. They didn't beat the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs.
Win the big game.
Right, they didn't win the Super Bowl or anything with that. But don't say he didn't do anything. And don't put it all on one player, dude. Like, don't do that. You're talking about.
No, I'm not going to say it was all on him, but you also have to carry. You got to carry some of the load when you get
absolutely.
paid.
But here's the thing. Money. Here's the thing. You're bringing up his money. Let me ask you something. What did the Cowboys do with Dak? When Dak Prescott was playing on a rookie contract for 4 seasons with that money? Go.
They made 2 playoffs.
No, sir. You said he's getting paid all that money, and so essentially they're going to be cap strapped to him, right? If you're complaining about his money, you're saying that they can't use that money to do anything else. What did they do when he was playing for peanuts on a rookie deal to make this team better? Go.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I would say that fourth year of the 2019, they did have Cobb and Cooper and Gallup. They did have a good team. That was a very talented team.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I will say Jalen Smith.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Smith wasn't that good after he got paid, but
yeah,
they put talent around him. Now the Pollard stuff, I feel like that was more Jerry Jones wanting to get the most out of
Ezekiel Elliott.
He paid Zeke. He wants Zeke to get the majority of the carries, and that's where with the Kellen Moore stuff, I get it. I don't think he was the best coordinator, but he did go 4-1 with Cooper Rush, and on top of that, watch what he does with Justin Herbert with the Chargers. They're going to light it up, and he's going to finally have a quarterback that can make all the throws.
They lit it up here. Like the numbers are off the chain with Dak Prescott and Kellen Moore. I mean,
got to give Kellen Moore some credit.
No. I mean, you listen to the show. My issue with Kellen Moore is not that he can't put up numbers. I don't know if I had this conversation yesterday. The variances are extremely too high and too low. There's never really nothing in the middle. Either we are just absolutely on fire that day, or we look like shit that day. Like we don't, because we don't have an identity. So if we're not hitting,
and I said that the last time.
If we're not hitting at this high level, 9 times out of 10, you're looking at a porous output on offense. And he doesn't do well with situational play calling. And you listen to what Michael Lombardi said and all that stuff. There are some issues there.
Yeah, and I heard that too. He talked about that last drive throwing the ball 3 times. Well, damn, Zeke could get Zeke was getting like 1.5, like 1.2 yards a carry that game. I don't blame Kellen for throwing the ball, the first 3 downs, and then we went, 3 and out. But how about the fact that he drawed up a play for Michael Gallup, he's wide open, and Dak misses him, or he, when he missed T.Y. Hilton wide open when he threw the Lamb. That's not Kellen Moore's fault. I think the quarterback has some.
Yeah, and Michael Lombardi said that in the interview. He said he's not dissolving Dak Prescott of his play, but I'm not throwing 3 passes in a row like they threw. They threw 3 drop back deep shots or deep hooks, deep curls, as opposed to getting something easy. I don't know how often you watch this show, but the buzzword here is easy buttons. Those are times where you need to get an easy button. There's situational football. It's do or die here, and we're going to throw out a curl routes for your season. Like that's just situational play calling I can't get behind, which is why I'm glad he's gone.
Well, and here's from two. I don't think
in
the West
closing.
Coast offense
In
suits
closing.
Dak Prescott.
What? Why?
I don't think it suits him. I think he needs more of like a read option, like Jalen Hurts type offense. And maybe there's 2 sides. Maybe Dak's the one pushing for, hey, I want to throw the ball more because he thinks he's,
That not a chance in hell. Did you not hear your coordinator come out after the game and say, with Cooper Rush, by the way, I wanted to throw every bone in my body, wanted to throw the ball every play, but I'm learning and I'm growing. Dak Prescott ain't the one pushing a button to throw the ball 45 times. He's a quarterback. You think he's going to complain about?
Yeah, he does. They do say he does check out of a lot of plays.
Every single player, every quarterback checks in and out of plays, my man. Good times and bad. Like it works and sometimes it doesn't. That's these. I don't know what you want to call them. Statements seem extremely lazy. Like every quarterback goes to line of scrimmage and they audible. That's not new. What we're talking about is the actual game plans to some of these teams where I have the issue. But look, Austin, I got to get to other people. We're talking circles, Austin. Try to call in Monday if you want to continue this conversation, brother.
I got you, brother. Thank you.
Austin said, forget about the faith fight finish. See, I'm glad I got one of these on the phone because I've been seeing it. And that's why if you go look at the actual board, let me see here. I had Dak Prescott Man of the Year. I only have that up there because of the backlash that I had been seeing on social media. And it's exactly what he did. So we don't even really got to go there. I just gave my whole explanation on the Dak Prescott Man of the Year thing. There's so many people upset with the quarterback that the things that they are saying about the man are disgusting. Y'all couldn't hear everything because it was breaking up a little bit. And I tried to touch on what I could. But the start of your call was disgusting. You brought up a rumor, by the way, of a woman that he's seeing. You completely disrespected his foundation. You told him to keep his head in the sand. You don't want to see his face. Study more. What you really want to say, Austin? That's what I really want to know. What do you really want to say? Don't even sugarcoat it. Maybe you can hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the DMs. I won't air you out. You can tell me exactly what you really mean and what you really want to say. Because if a player is making you feel that upset about his personal life, a player who's known to work harder than anyone in the organization, something else got to be going on. Something else has got to be going on, Austin. So hit me up on Twitter, man. Let me know what's really going on. Let me hit this button. Let's get to the next. There we go. And look what it's going to land on. Oh, it didn't. Okay. Cowboys Hall of Fame. The Dallas Cowboys got 2 guys in the Hall of Fame, 2 legends, DeMarcus Ware, Chuck Howley. And I'm going to let DeMarcus Ware finish because he deserved it. He should have been in last year. without a shadow of a doubt. He was the first ballot to me. And I thought it was pretty cool, the video that they showed with Jerry Jones surprising DeMarcus Ware in the Hall of Fame. So second ballot Hall of Fame. Chuck Howley, the senior, I think it's a senior award or what have you to get in. I'm going to let y'all finish. But what they doing to Darren Woodson is ridiculous. It already was out of hand, but this is ridiculous now. John Lynch, Rondé Barber, Leroy Butler. What are we doing? Not a 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champion, all-time leading tackler for an organization like the Dallas Cowboys. One of the key core players during that key core players, a rock of the defense during that run in the 90s. One of the most versatile players of the 90s. A guy that could do linebacker things, a guy that could cover in the slot, a guy that could play free safety, a guy that could take your head off. He's not one of the best safeties ever played this game. And maybe I'm a little bit biased. Darren Woodson is my favorite defensive player of all time. Growing up, I wanted to play like Darren Woodson. I played safety. Professor always makes a joke about this. I like safeties. Like, safeties is one of my favorite positions in football. Obviously, because I played it. But to see Woody not in there and see John Lynch in there, Leroy Butler, I would love to know. I would love to be a fly on the wall. Why he's not in there? What is it? What are you trying to tell us here? It can't be a Cowboys bias because you put D. Ware in. So I don't know. I'm going to let you finish, D. Ware. Salute. You deserved it. But I was a little bit more upset that Darren Woodson didn't get in, man. That's all. All right, so we got Coach Marv back. Let's see if we
you can hear me better now.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
The other conversation was cracking up too. So
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Quick with that. You handled it the best professional way you can handle that, and I think that was a great conversation and reply by you, asking the tough questions about their feelings on air, so they can, and you got exactly the response. I thought, I don't know what to say type thing.
Yeah.
So you got the response that really has no validity about how good a quarterback or a person Dak Prescott is this just built off other stuff.
And trust me,
so
Austin was PG compared to the things that I've been seeing on social media.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine that. I could imagine that. But it is what it is, and it speaks on these three quick topics I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And one of them is about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is still living off. Well, I can't say, but I will say he's living off the fact that he was drafted in the 4th round. And if he was a first-round draft pick, somewhere they wouldn't be giving him all this grief that they're giving him because they still feel about his draft status. That's why Tom Brady kept that chip on his shoulder, because he have never wanted no one to come back, because he was waiting on them to come back to say, oh, he's playing bad because he was a 6th-round draft pick. But I can't say that with Dak Prescott, but I've been around long enough as a Cowboy fan to understand that every Cowboy quarterback, when they don't win, they get a whole lot of grief. From the Staubachs to the Aikmans before he won his championships, to the Romos, to the Dak Prescott. So it is what it is. The teams win championships, not quarterbacks.
I think that's going out the window now. And it sucks because I've been saying this for well before Dak Prescott. There's only a handful of dudes that are going to do this thing by themselves. From top to bottom, you need to be on point, or you just need to get lucky if you're not going to be organizationally on the same page and collectively putting together, from GM to coaches to players, a championship organization. You gotta have to get lucky in one of those years. But it's quarterback or bust in this league now in regards to the way fans think, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and it'll be real. It's crazy this guy to understand that we paying 57 Super Bowls. This Super Bowl 57, but only 64 different quarterbacks have made Super Bowls. That's winning or losing. That's it. So that's 64 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks that have made it to the Super Bowl, and that's on winning and losing teams. So it's been a lot of repeat performance guys in the Super Bowl. But anyway,
if we don't change
one other
up,
thing on that.
One more, then you can go ahead. If we don't change up what we do organizationally, then the next quarterback gonna suffer the same damn fate. Depending on certain other aspects of it, it could be worse or it could be a little bit softer. But go ahead. What was you trying to finish when you called in earlier?
Yeah. It's one thing that and I know you're doing your wheel thing, but I'm going to get ahead of that because I see you got one on there about Kelsey. Kelsey and Ferguson.
Okay. All right.
I would say
still
again.
My thunder. All right.
We watch film. You watch film. We've seen our young tight ends and the potential that they have. They didn't get opportunity, didn't get a vast amount of opportunities. But when they did get the opportunities, yeah, they may have had a hiccup in there, but we saw the blocking, we saw the athleticism. If we want to get weapons, and if we want to add weapons to this team, you're going to have to give some and get something. We can save money at tight end and probably be just as good or better at tight end. I understand we can let Schultz walk. I'm not saying Schultz not a good player, but for this offense, we better be served with Ferguson and Hendershot. I believe that the athleticism is good, and when you have a great that's playing now, speak of a person by name, they see stuff that we have been seeing on film. We can save money there, and we can use that money to keep Tony Pollard. Because if CeeDee Lamb says he wants weapons, you don't let weapons get out the door. If you got a weapon like Tony Pollard, keep Tony Pollard because that is a weapon. But you may have to say, I'm going to get these young tight ends that are going to prosper. I can't hinder their development because they're probably going to be very good. And I don't want to see a case like with Jason Witten. I love Jason Witten, but we let a guy like Bennett get out the door that turned into be an all-pro at Chicago. Because
I don't think Schultz is coming back. I don't think you got to get too much emotion put into that. They drafted Schultz replacement. Right. If they were going to bring Schultz back, I think he would have got a contract extension, not a franchise tag. And I'll definitely speak on the Jake Ferguson Kelsey thing if I land on it.
Yeah, but that's a key, and I think these guys, these Ferguson and Hendershot, will be much better in this yak yard offense of the West Coast because they'll be able to make their athleticism to be able to get yak, and I think that would be a great addition to let these guys go ahead and develop and be our starting tight ends.
All right, Coach.
Just wanted to say that guy.
Yeah, I'll touch on that whenever I land on it. I got you.
Great job, man. Great way of handling that, man. Keep on doing what you're doing, brother.
Appreciate you, Coach. Let's get set it off. Chris is here. I know he over there fuming.
Good morning, bro.
Good morning, family.
Hey, man, you got a lot of names, Big Willie, Skywalker Steel. I'm going to give you a new one, bro. Fake Hood Steel.
Hold on. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. I don't know if you got me on speaker or not, but try to take me off speaker or whatever because I can't hear you real good.
Okay. Oh, shoot. I'm rolling. I'm dropping. Hey, man. Hey, listen. All I'm going to say, bro, is that you handled that situation with my man with utmost class. You really couldn't hear. You can't really hear me, but you really couldn't hear him because he was downstairs in his mama's basement with his tighty whities and his Romo jersey on. I'm gonna fall back.
I got you now. I can hear you better. I can hear you better now.
Okay. Yeah, I just for him to just sit there and say that man needs to duck his head in the sand. I want everyone to realize you couldn't get Romo to work in the offseason because he wanted to go play golf. You couldn't get him to come in in shape or come and work out with guys. Because Tony said when it was football season, it was football season, and he wanted to go. So, you want to pinpoint, get your goddamn hands out of that man's pocket. Get your man's hands out that man's pocket. Because nobody had a problem where Tony was the highest paid quarterback for like 2 or 3 weeks and turned around and didn't perform in the playoffs and missed people and threw interceptions. But you got a problem with this guy, got a faith fight finish, charity, organization, talking about mental health, talking about dealing with so much. This brother lost his mama and his brother. You got the daggum audacity to get on anywhere and talk bad about that, man. Man, get your goofy ass out of here with that, man. I can't stand these 80% of these goddamn Cowboys fans who want to sit up and say, oh, because he didn't do this, and oh, he need to go do this, or he gonna need to go do that. You don't do that in your own personal life. So how the hell you gonna tell that man to go do something? That guy got a whole yard. He got his wide receivers out there working with him. He out there working his ass off. He a 3-star goddamn recruit, and he'd have made it to the highest pinnacle of NFL football. Understand, people. 7% of the kids that play daggum public high school football get to go play Division I football. And then it goes even less than that to go to the NFL. So for you to sit your ass up here and talk about that man like that, man, that is infuriating to me, man. That is absolutely just asinine for the most part. And I'm going to just get out of here, man. Listen, man, the hate for the Dallas Cowboys in the voters and the sports writers is unprecedented. You being from Harrisburg, you know about the Steelers. You got guys like Bradshaw, Mike Dawson.
Hey, Chris, I heard there was legitimate bias in the Hall of Fame room for Steelers because most of them grew up Steeler fans. Yeah.
Yeah. So because of that, man, you got so many guys that have gone and entered into the Hall of Fame. For you to put one guy who was a Jag, and I'm gonna honestly say that was John Lynch, and an above par guy in Rondé Barber, great player. But man, for it to be this continuous, you pushed a 3-time Super Bowl champion, all-time leading tackler to the damn seniors list in the Hall of Fame ballot.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing to Darren Woodson.
Yeah.
You're moving him to the freaking senior ballot. Like this guy did not revolutionize the cornerback free safety position. The Cowboys stayed in base most daggum weeks because you can move Woody to the damn slot.
Yeah,
it's unheard of a guy who was a linebacker in college.
I wonder if there's a 90s Cowboys bias, maybe. Because not many defenders.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Mike, it took Mike a few times, I think, right? I mean, he didn't get in first, but it took him a couple of times. Yeah.
But Mike had a little.
Mike had a.
He had a little offshoot.
That was a party, whatever.
Mike got some stuff he was doing. You can't show up in the courtroom with a full length coat.
With the mink coat.
With a room full of, with the mink coat and the cocaine and I'm just saying it's alleged. You know what I'm saying? But like Mike said, keep the same intensity. And so my thing with Woody, it's mean spirited, and I'll get out your way. Here's I'm gonna let you know how biased it is. You got one of the greatest offensive line that was ever assembled in NFL history, and not one guy from that team is in the Hall of Fame. Not one.
Yeah, that's
not Eric Williams.
Nate got 6 Pro Bowls and Super Bowls. That's crazy.
Six, right. But you throwing other guys, and I'm not taking nothing away from Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas was amazing. Tony Baselli, amazing. But for you to have, right, the greatest offensive line that we've seen, and not one of them there. Nobody was anchor. None of them guys was first rounders. Guys was all scrappy.
Larry's the only one. Larry's the only one.
Yeah, but Larry's the only one. But Larry was on the back end. I'm talking about them first one.
The first one. Yeah, the Eric Williams, Stepnowski, 2-A, Gogan.
Right.
Yeah.
Gogan.
Newton.
Yeah, none of them.
Yeah, that's fair, bro.
Hey, listen, man. I always get heated when it comes to Hall of Fame time. Congratulations to Marcus Webb. Congratulations to all the guys in the debate. Leroy Butler was a guy. John Lynch was a guy. The only guy that's going in, Rondé Barber was okay. The only guy that I say that should have went before Darren was Dawkins. outside that, all the rest of them dudes, man, they can't carry Woody's daggone sweaty hands out, man. I'm sorry, bro.
Hey,
I'm
Chris,
sorry.
appreciate the passion, brother. Great call.
No problem, bro. We'll talk later, bro.
Yes, sir. Somebody in the chat said, you'll like this one. You'll like this one, Chris. Somebody said, you pinky man, bro.
Shut. Did I say no? Oh, say it again. Say something else. Oh, say something else. Say something else.
I knew. That's why I brought set it off, Chris. I knew he was gonna come on with some fire. Look, man. I let me just clear the air here. I will have a conversation about the actual quarterback. I will listen to you. We had a whole show about wanting to replace him. Fine. Where the line gets crossed, man, is where my one man said we want to send the mafia. He was, tongue in cheek maybe, but he wants to do something, put pressure on him to leave, and then this guy comes in and diminishes his charitable work that was founded because of his mother, passed away, and then obviously his brother and whatnot, and just the things he does off field, and then dealing with his money off field and things. That is where the line gets crossed for me. That has nothing to do with the on the field. And if you want to break down the on the field, we can have those conversations too. But that's what got me. I didn't think we'd get a call to hear that type of stuff that I had been seeing online, but we did, and that's why somebody was like, hang up. I was like, no, because I don't get this opportunity often. People on the internet, they hide behind these things, and they don't really get a chance to be put on the spot. So I really want to hear their overall thoughts. And you saw the tune change a bit. Oh, I think he's a great guy and things like. Okay, all right, cool. Didn't sound like it when you came on here. All right, let's spin the wheel again. See where we at. It looks like I might have to take off. I don't want to take off the Kelsey thing. Let's see if we can hit phone a friend. Diggs and Diggs. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up was because not that I want to bring it up, but why it came up was because yesterday RJ Ochoa on Blogging the Boys had an opportunity to sit down with Trayvon Diggs, and you normally get guys recruit when dudes are publicly on the trade block or free agents. But all right, there we go. Trayvon said, nah, man, that's my brother. I don't care what y'all got to say. Bring him here. This is what Trayvon Diggs said yesterday about bringing his brother to the Cowboys.
We need Cowboy Nation to go and help and tweet to get bro here. We need everyone to know. We need to put it on notice that we need to get bro to Dallas.
Okay, last thing. Just to be clear, can you give that instruction? You're talking to Cowboys fans right now. You're telling them to tweet. Give them the instruction. Ready, set, go.
Everybody tweet. Let's get Stefon to Dallas.
So I don't listen. I don't know if he gonna get in trouble for that. I have no clue. But obviously that's his brother. I hope they don't take it too seriously here. But look, they just signed him to an extension. I don't think that's really going to happen. But we'll ask the question. Cowboys Nation, would you attempt to trade for Stefon Diggs? And the reason why this is coming up is because he was pissed off at the end of the season with Josh, like visibly upset with Josh Allen and seemed to be frustrated. And look, if Trayvon is coming out here publicly talking about getting his brother to Dallas, maybe there's something behind the scenes going on as well. You don't normally see that. And I'm speculating. It's not good media. That's yellow journalism type situation. But I'm trying to connect the dots here. But would you try to trade for him? King Element said, yep. Gil said, if it's right. KD says he's not an owner, so it's not tampering. Probably right. DMV Cowboys. We got a DMV fanatic. Okay. Posey says no. Second round pick and MG13. That's interesting because the whole money situation, I wonder if Gallup's contract will help with that. It's not the NBA, so it's not as easy as contract for contract. But Michael Fletcher says, yeah. I'd give up a first, says King. Yes. So a lot of people are all on board with this one. Yes. Everybody's yes. I want to look at the numbers, Buffalo would have to be all the way out on. Like Diggs would have to be like, I'm not playing here again. I don't want to be here no more. I'm done with this organization. Like he'd have to go ham because they would suffer a massive cap hit right now if they were to trade him before June 1st. They can't technically designate him a June 1st trade. I think it has to be closer to June 1st. Actually, they can. They can say, yeah, we're going to trade now, but it doesn't go through till June, which makes no sense. Or they can wait till after June, trade him, divide the massive cap hit, which it is a big cap hit, over 2 years, and they could do it that way. So not saying it's impossible. It's just extremely hard to do if Buffalo really wanted to keep him. Diggs would have to do something crazy to not want to do it. Showtime said give him a 26 in the third and get him. The price is too high. Is the same outrage as why do we keep losing? The price is too high. Same. I'm not sure what that means, Trips. Interesting, says K. So Dak didn't lead the team when Zeke was obviously decreasing. Highly unlikely, says Reggie. Would love to do it. Just don't see how realistic it is. But I did find it interesting. His brother came out and was advocating for it right away. Let's get a couple more. We'll try to hit the 10 o'clock. Let's get Los in the building. Los, what's good, man?
Good morning, Sky, man. Hey, I hope you're having a great morning. It's almost time for that big old game on Sunday, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, my bad.
I'm going to make my points quick, and I know you got to get out of here soon. So I know we're talking about that. Yes, we haven't gotten over the divisional round, but I feel we have always let him down with our scheme, building a team around him, etc. And like you said, a quarterback that plays for the Cowboys has to win in spite of Jerry Jones and how we run things around here, right, Sky?
I mean, that's how I feel. I'm not telling everybody else to feel that way, but that's how I feel. I feel like not just the quarterback, but the players in general and the coaches as well. 9 times out of 10 have to overcome the front office, and I just don't think that's a quality way to build an organization. And for the players, if it doesn't happen, you know, all hell is going to come down on y'all, and the front office is never going to lose their job. They're never going to receive the heat. And, you know, that's just how it is for those who aren't really, I don't want to use the term paying attention, but they're not focusing their ire at the right place, in my opinion. Put it that way.
Exactly. And we have had our chances over the years, and it just comes to, like, let's see if this team can play a high level of football come January to make a run, because the Eagles, I'm going to be honest, the Eagles are a well-built team, but they're not high caliber scare, we can't beat your team. The Chiefs, they were a team that were never satisfied.
Well, listen, hold on. Nobody is unbeatable. But let's not get it twisted. The Philadelphia Eagles, when Jalen Hurts is playing quarterback, obviously Gardner Minshew is a different story. When their defense is healthy, when their team is healthy, not a soul, unless you just purely was hating, coming into the season said, man, that's not a team that's going to compete in the NFC. That's not one of the NFC favorites. That has to be false, man. That team is loaded. Absolutely loaded. Almost at every single position. So I get they're not, a 17-0 team, but they are without a shadow of a doubt one of, if not the most talented team in the National Football League. So I don't think this is a surprise to me, especially how things were playing out. I'll let you in on a little behind the scenes on the way home from the camp. Me and Vach often talk about it. Vach brings it up on the show. The reason why we got into a heated argument was because he was asking me about the Eagles and about the Cowboys. And he said, do I think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl team? I said, no. I said, they got a Super Bowl defense, but I don't trust the offense. They have to show me during the season. And then I said, in all honesty, if Jalen Hurts takes a little step, the Eagles are a Super Bowl team. And it wasn't because I think the Eagles and Jalen Hurts is elite. It's because I looked at the talent of that team, and we just needed they just needed that quarterback, right, to play a little bit better, and they did, and he did, and they're there. So, listen, if you surround your players or your coaches with a talent like that, I expect them to be in the Super Bowl. That didn't happen for Dallas. I didn't expect them to be in the Super Bowl. So this ain't a surprise to me.
Exactly, Scott. And I'll leave you with this. I feel like every team that has made a run, I feel like they made a run because they know who they are. and they aren't afraid to take a chance of success or losing it. And it seems like every other Texas team here in Dallas are either spending the bank, trading, adding talent, except the Cowboys. Like, I must just say, I mean, I'm a huge, I love sports here in Texas, guy, but like, I mean, look what the Mavericks done. Look what the Texas Rangers, the Stars. It seems like every other franchise here in Texas is not afraid of success rather than Jerry Jones. So let's see if we can change that. See you, Sky.
Let's see if we can change it. As Toxic would say, can't overcome that. I can't even be mad at you say that, Toxic. Can't even be mad at you. Let's get like 2 more, and then we'll finish the wheel and be up out of here. Rick, what's goody?
Hey, what's going on, Sky? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? What up, though? Hello?
Yeah, I got you. I'm laughing at Sully. He said Los was transforming. What up, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was kind of sad last night, man. People wasn't really giving Dak Prescott his props for winning Man of the Year, man. That man done been through a lot, man, over the years, man.
I don't even care about them giving him props. It was what the things they were saying about him that I was like, wow. I mean, I'm not surprised because there's just bad people in this world, but I'm like, boy, I really would love to know, like, what is your real issue with the person that you're saying these things about him from receiving a Man of the Year award? It was bad, bro.
Yeah, man, because Dak is a stand-up dude. You can tell he's a stand-up dude, and for all the hate that he gets, is undeserving. Like he doesn't deserve all that hate just because he plays for America's team. He can't. He's not the one building these teams. You know what I mean? It's like he's trying to do one thing, and sometimes the team is working against him. You know what I mean? They only try to help him when everybody start getting loud in the room. And that needs to cut. That needs to stop. You know what I mean? We need to give him. If you want to really judge a person, man, give him all that he asks for, all that he needs. Then judge him. You know what I mean? But that's not going to happen over here with the Cowboys. But my thing is, man,
might be me.
Salute to Dak, man. Him and his peoples. You doing a great job, as far as I'm concerned. You doing a great job.
Hey, Rick, I'm gonna let you
and
go.
I wish Dak.
I hear you, Rick. I got you, but it's breaking up. It might be me, y'all. It might not be y'all today. I'm not sure why it's breaking up like that. My bad. We'll do one more on the wheel. One more on the wheel. Take another call or two, and then we'll end it. I have no idea why it's the phones are acting like that. Here we go. We already did that. Hey, we got a phone. The friend comes through. Last tick. Okay, so phone a friend means call one of my guys up. Let me see. Now I know Vach is still probably asleep, so we're not even gonna do Vach. Let's see if we can get. See if it's a surprise here. Can y'all hear that?
Yo, what's up?
Law Nation in the building. Look, Law, I got you live. You are live right now on the show. I'm putting you on the spot. We played a little game today where we spin the wheel and we got phone a friend that hit here. So did I catch you at a bad time?
Nah, I'm chilling.
You chilling? All right, man. How you doing? How you doing this morning?
My little one got a Valentine's Day party at 2:00, so I'm getting ready for it.
All right, man. Listen, I don't look forward to those, but look, bro, I won't keep you too long because I did just surprise your ass. But Hall of Fame, I want to get your opinion on not having Darren Woodson in the Hall of Fame because you was around for those 90s. We had Darren Woodson on the show. Did it tick you off that Woody wasn't in the Hall of Fame as much as it ticked me off?
Oh yeah, man. Man, they shanking that man with the butter knife. Matter of fact, not with the butter knife, man. They got the whole machete. He's supposed to be in there, man.
Yeah. When we had him on, we talked about it for a little bit, and he just continues to be humble. And when it happens, it happens. But you know what? I'm gonna be pissed off for him. I'm gonna be the dude that was representing Obama on Key and Peele. That's me. I'll be pissed off for you, Woody.
Hell yeah. I know that when the doors are closed, he moving some furniture around because it's embarrassing to be out there and you see other people that you know for sure that you're better than, and then they get elevated and be in the Hall of Fame in there, and you sitting there like, man, come on, man. Come on, man. They need to play that Boosie. Come on, man.
All right, let me get a couple draft questions for you because I know you in the draft lab right now. Who's your early on pet cat for the Dallas Cowboys? It could be any position. I'm not saying it's the guy that we have to draft, but kind of your favorite player for the Cowboys right now that you've been taking a look at. Early. It's mad early, but.
Man, it is early right now. I do like the Joe Porter Jr. kid. I think he covered every blade of grass. He may be a little handsy, but I look at it from the philosophy of what my guy Dan Quinn can do. And you need somebody with that dog nasty mentality. Why not? Right? You know, we've been having issues the DB side.
If you can get a Diggs, Joey Porter, Deron Bland as your three moving forward, we cook them with grease.
Shoot. Yes, indeed, man. I'm all the way looking at it like this, though. The Cowboys need to go all the way in and get a defensive tackle, maybe a Daron Payne in his free agency if he's released or put a trade offer in. I don't know how that will work, but we need a big boy down inside, and then we can start looking into this draft because I think that would help out everything.
Yep. That was my next question. Who would be your free agent wish list? Who's on your free agent wish list? And we talked about this yesterday. Daron Payne was number one up there, and the other question was, Daron Payne, would you rather sign Daron Payne or trade for a DeAndre Hopkins type?
Man, give me the big boy, man.
Okay.
I think that we got to have an elite side on one side, whether it's defense or offense. And I think that our defense, I'm looking back at like what the 49ers did when they was in the playoffs and how they was able to win games, defense. And also I'm looking at the Eagles, the defense. As much as we look at the offensive side of the coin, I think the way they moved on the offseason on the defensive side was just as valuable. So we get a big boy down inside. Last time we had 10-plus sacks in the middle was Jason Hatcher. So I think that area right there is where we need.
I mean, the Eagles, look, they're celebrated for having, Sweat and Reddick. But when you got Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, who's the cat they brought in? Ndamukong Suh, Linval. They have a legitimate 1, 2, and 3 unit on the interior, bro. So I'm with you. Right. I would love to get an interior that can rival that so that can make life easier for your linebackers, make life easier for your defensive ends. And I said this yesterday, like we really haven't had that type of consistent production since peak Jay Ratliff. We've been kind of just getting by with the Nick Haytons and the cat that was in Atlanta, and now we're hoping that Osa can be kind of that next guy up. But I'm all for upgrading that position. Easy money.
Man, it'll make it look so much better. Because when I look at Hassan, yes, he had a lot of sacks, but I'm looking at the interior. Hargraves with 11, 12 sacks, and then they released Fletcher Cox. And then they brought him back.
I didn't even bring up Hargrave. Damn.
Yeah, that dude had, and Cox had 7 of them. So I'm looking at it like, how can we get that production so our outside guys can eat? And on top of that, if we can bring in a legitimate cornerback like, let's say, a Jalen Ramsey, or I would sell my spleen right now for Marshawn Lattimore. I don't know how the numbers will work out, but the Saints are $60 million under. Right. Let's see if we can get Marshawn Lattimore into the building. You have Diggs on one side, Marshawn Lattimore on the other side. I wouldn't even worry about drafting the DB in the 26th pick then. Then we can go back to look at maybe other interior looks like the offensive line, because we're going to need help at that spot too.
Man, listen, if the Cowboys end up landing Marshawn Lattimore or Ramsey and keeping Diggs, you're having a party. Hey, Law, I appreciate you jumping in here in the spare of the moment, just randomly, and giving us some good quality takes, man. You've been killing it as usual. You are everywhere, but if they don't know where to find you, let them know, please.
Oh, man. Yeah, you guys. be sure before y'all look for me, man, hit that like, share this content for my guy over there. And you can find me at Law Nation Sports on all platforms, as well as lawnationsports.com. I'm there. So just type that in. You'll see my face, name, or logo.
Or beard.
And remember, or beard. You're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, baby.
It was only right that he ends it that way. Appreciate you, Law.
All right, bro. Salute.
My guy. Man, I might have to do this phone a friend more often on this spin the wheel thing. That was cool, man. Listen, when you got a solid group of dudes, that's what happens. You know, last week we got a chance to get Foots on here. Then randomly we hit up Okoye earlier this week, and then boom, Law Nation. Then you obviously got Voch Lombardi live every day, well, Monday through Thursday at 3 o'clock over on the volume where we kick it, man. Just a solid group of dudes and a solid, I don't call it solid, an elite community in the Dallas Cowboys YouTube land, whatever you want to call it, social media, whatever. It's elite. It's right up there. And all you got to do is just type in Dallas Cowboys social media or Dallas Cowboys content, and you'll see all of us, man. We all up there. All right, take our last break, get a couple more calls, and then we're going to get up out of here. We'll say that phone a friend was brought to you by Boston Scientific. If you are one of more than 39 million men that suffer from ED, Boston Scientific has created edcure.org to help you find your best cure. To get started, head on over to edcure.org, take a quiz, learn the severity or risk of ED, and if you have a condition, you'll find the content specifically for you. To find the best cure, head over to edcure.org, brought to you by Boston Scientific.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Let's see. Seeing what the super chats are. Maybe I get them out the way. Oh wow! All right. Okay, let's hit the super chats real quick. There's a handful of them. Appreciate you guys for donating to the cause, man. I appreciate that a whole lot. There's about 5 or so of them. Let's get to the super chats.
Super chat.
And then we'll come back to the phone lines and end this thing. Earlier on, Common Sense Lab, salute to you, said, I'm sorry, Sky, but some fans make a Super Bowl more important than life.
Super chat.
Texas D903 dropped 5 in the super chat. Romo didn't win anything. Get interventions on his current job that he doesn't even drink at. Oh, yeah. The Romo stuff right now kind of crazy. They coming at Romo's top. They say he ain't studying and he ain't studying film. He just kind of saying stuff, and he's acting more on emotion than he is putting everything into his job. Yeah, that is interesting what's going on with Tony. I don't know what, to be fair to the caller, I don't know what his take on Tony Romo is. Like, that's why I didn't even bring up his name. I know that's often linked, Dak, Tony. I don't know. Maybe that would tell us more, but hit me up. Twitter, Skywalker Still, let me know. Showtime Sports Media.
Super chat.
Appreciate you. Says, now I see why Voch said he hates other Cowboy fans. I think a lot of Cowboy fans understand that we have a certain sector of fans that annoy us. And every team does, but the Cowboys have more fans, in my opinion, than any team in the world, right? So we see more of them. I'm guessing. I don't follow Saints Twitter. I don't follow Bills Twitter. But I feel like we see more of them. And then, obviously, you got ESPN, FS1, CB. You got all these outlets that play to that emotion, that play to those fans, and it works for them, Towboat.
Super chat.
Towboat Ty dropped 5 and said, I'm sick and tired of the Dak haters. They make me want to get some boxing gloves and run up. Don't do that, man. Run it up. Who we going to get that's better on and off the field? No one. So Tobo, don't do that. And I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I often say, yeah, I almost got in fisticuffs with Tony back in the day. And I mean, you know how passionate I can get when discussing. And a lot of the arguments were similar, right? Like, yo, like it ain't just him, XYZ, even though he failed us in certain times as well. But I also looked around the league and would say, well, I'm looking at this team do this and this team do that and this team do that. Why ain't we? But nah, man, it's never that serious. Just like it's never that serious to say F your charity, to say F your personal life. I don't care about your girlfriend, which is crazy to bring up. F your money. Go win me a bowl. Go win me a bowl. Sir, who are you? Is he your property? These are human. These are real people, man. Texas D dropped another one and said,
Super chat.
With Law in the building. James Washington. And then Showtime dropped one, and I like this one.
Super chat.
Sign Yannick Ngakoue from the Colts in free agency. I like it because I like the player. I don't know that it would make 100% sense if they're going to go with DA and Sam and they draft a guy. But, man, I'd never be mad about adding a guy like Yannick Ngakoue. No, sir. Not at all. Not at all. Hell, Philly had, defensive tackles galore and some edge rushers, and they still went out and got those guys. So, yeah, bring me all the pass rushers in the world. All right, let's get a couple more and get up out of here. I think 267 been on hold for a minute. My apologies. 267, what it do?
Yeah, what's up, Steele? How you doing?
Oh,
bro?
this is Chris. What's good, Chris? It don't let me save numbers no more, so I never really know. It is what it is. What up, Chris?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'm going to need you to send me that Cochran number. I've been in Florida for the past week, so.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Some Florida. You Florida man.
Yeah,
now.
some questionable decisions have been made. Well, I'm going back to PA now, so back to reality, unfortunately. Yeah, man, that one caller drove me up a wall. Like, does he not understand that not only does Dak Prescott inspire people with his charitable acts and stuff like that, but he also inspires people with his hard work as well? That's part of the reason why he won that Walter Payton Man of the Year, in my personal opinion, because of how inspiring of a person he is. But I don't know. That guy's a weirdo.
Yeah, I don't know. I think and again, I try to have the conversation with him, but we were starting to get in circles. I think I would imagine most of the frustration is just with the failures of the organization over the last 28 years. And right now he's the quarterback that's been a part of that failure, and that's where a lot of the frustration rises. I just don't understand when you cross that line. It feels a little bit more than that to me. Like, that's my takeaway from it.
I just don't understand how, there's fans out there that talk about, Dak Prescott should take more money, talking about his money. They're like, he should take less money, and then they get upset at him for doing advertising and commercials.
Shit, right. That's absolutely right.
If he's going to take less money.
Right. Not only do they want him to take less money for the job that he's doing at a good level, they also want him to stop doing commercials and put money in his pocket elsewhere. They just want this man to play for free, right? But when he was playing for free, the organization did absolutely nothing with the money. That's what I was trying to get to the dude, right? Okay, boom. Dak Prescott plays on $1 million for the rest of his life. Are you under this assumption that Stephen Jones is now going to go spend that money and go get all these high-end free agents and make these quality trades? Because if that's the case, why the hell didn't he do it when he had Dak Prescott for 4 years on a cheap deal?
Well, they were talking about that on ESPN. I forget who the guy was, but he was like, okay, you pay Dak Prescott less money. Just because you give somebody who's bad with money more money, that doesn't mean they're going to spend it properly. Exactly.
I know exactly what you're talking about. He used to do a show with Mike Golick, and they had the one receiver who fills in. He's like the C-list guy or whatever. The dude on the right, the receiver, I forget his name, he was falling for the same fodder that a lot of these fans and the big letter networks, they probably practiced that, right? Like, this is what you're going to say, and yada, yada, yada. And it was just lazy because the dude just shut him down. He's like, yeah, just because I give this organization more money doesn't mean they're going to use that money properly.
Well, and then why is it only Dak Prescott that has to take less money? Why can't Kirk Cousins take less money? Why can't Kyler Murray take less money? Why does it have to be Dak Prescott? I don't know. I don't understand.
Listen, I'll leave it at this. That ain't the contract y'all should be pissed off about. I already said that. There's other ones on this team that have hampered you more, in my opinion. But I digress. What else you got, Chris?
So talking about the receivers, I know they're probably going to make a play for Odell Beckham Jr. How would you feel if they brought in a guy like DJ Chark along with Odell Beckham Jr. and then they draft a guy along with CeeDee Lamb and the hopeful potential guys that we have? Do you think that's a solid enough receiving core going into next year?
It's an unreliable one, but there's a lot of potential in it, right? And I say unreliable because DJ Chark is just always an injury. He's a hurt guy, right? So we got a hurt guy in Gallup. You sign a hurt guy, and then you sign another hurt guy in Odell Beckham. So here's what I would say: they're making an attempt similar to the 2021 free agent class, where they just threw a whole bunch of low-level money at a bunch of guys and said, "Let's see what sticks." Because I know how the Cowboys operate, I'm not going to be upset with that because I'm not expecting them to go out here and trade for a D-Hop. But I also would have to put the excitement on ice because, I mean, these are guys who are unreliable. One dude doesn't have ACLs. The other dude always gets hurt. And then you obviously got a rookie, right? So I don't even know that there's going to be a solution that everybody's going to be happy with from a wide receiver standpoint, but I feel like they got to try something, right, Chris?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because you can't go out there next year with the same lineup that we had this year. It's going to be the same result.
Yeah.
So, well, all right, Sky.
Hey, appreciate you calling in, Chris.
Yep, absolutely. I'll talk to you, bro.
Yes, sir. I got to remember that number is yours, or that name is yours. Twan, what's up with you, man? And this is not Twan Wright. This is the first Twan that used to come through. What's good, Twan?
Yeah, this is OG Twan.
OG Twan.
I got a lot to say today, my mama. First and foremost, what was I going to talk about? I'm so glad Jalen Hurts did not win MVP because I was going to hear it from my cousin if he did. But I knew he wasn't going to because, one, we still got the best QB in the division. We just don't have the best team in the division, and that showed this year because Philadelphia's goddamn freaking lucky. About that caller, yeah, I don't get it, but, like, it's just like, people really think that, like, these players are just controllable. Like, we live in it, like, they just have to do whatever we want them to just because we give them money, which is by our own choice. Like, we got to understand, like, these players got lives. They got their own opinions and what they want to do. And I'd be damned if I would sit up here and talk shit about a person, one, that I don't even know, and two, that plays for a team that I like, that honestly is doing top 10 at his position, if we're really, really being honest. But I digress. You could have a problem with a QB, but when you start coming for the person's, like, character, that's where I just, like, bro, something's wrong with you. That's just where I look at it.
Yeah, you're completely blinded by your hatred that you question his character. Like, that is – even people that hate the quarterback, on the field wouldn't question that. So what really is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's deeper. I don't know. Maybe it's the skin color, but I don't know. That's a whole other topic for another day. My nigga Darren Woodson definitely got stubbed, though. Like, come on, bro. How you going to sub my nigga Darren Woodson, bro? I'm young and I know how good Darren was. That should tell you something. This man was that nice.
Yeah, it's sickening, man.
It really is. All right, that's all I got, Sky. I just wanted to tap in and see how you was doing. Once again, congrats on all the work you're doing. You're at 20K now, I see. So keep going. I'm always going to be watching.
You was here before 1K, right? Shit, might have been here before 100.
I've been here since late night hype days. Them days was funny. And then y'all, I remember when you posted the Darren Woodson interview. You was like, you was so excited to talk to that man. I'm a mama.
Hey, my lady in the chat, she'd tell you, if you could see how I was acting down there, I was trying to be cool when he called. I was pacing back and forth like, oh, yeah, man, of course, man. Hey, all cool. As soon as he hung up, I'm like, yo, I just talked to Darren Woodson. I called my brother. I called everybody. Because they know how I feel about Woody, man. It was a surreal moment, man. But now, I run into him at the Star a couple times. It's cool now, but at the time, man, that was one of them ones. The next time that will probably happen though would be if I see Michael Irvin.
Oh yeah, I love
That's my guy.
Too. I want to see how
Irv is my guy.
Fun. Yeah, my dad. As always, those guys, salute, man. Peace.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Yep.
That was a funny moment, man. Hell, even the hype, James and Law, we got into a little group chat. Was like, yo, this is great. It was the first big interview we did, and then it kind of just was like an avalanche of, players, former players, coaches, current players that we were getting on, and then now it's, I hold myself to a higher standard for y'all to try to continue to do that. It didn't happen a lot this season because the plate was pretty full this year, but we're going to try to figure these things out next year. Even over on the volume, we're going to try to get it with watching Lombardi live too, because we got some ends over there too. So we're going to continue to grow this thing for sure. All right, we'll finish them. We'll get two more in here. We get 214 and 850. 214, what it is, what it do?
Hey, what's up, Sky? Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. Who's this?
This is Stargazer Sports in the chat, but you can just call me Star.
This is Star. So if I'm not mistaken, you're on Twitter too, right?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter too.
Okay, I've seen some of your work or your post on Twitter as well. You do some good stuff over there.
Thank you, Sky. I appreciate that. I'm glad I finally get to call in. I never got to call in to your morning show because I'm an attorney by trade, so I'm usually busy doing hearings and stuff, but I'm glad that I get to call in and speak to you. Like the other caller said, I've been a huge fan of you since Late Night Hype with you, Big Game, and Law, and just have followed you, and I try to tune in I always go back and watch your morning show, and then I try to tune in to you and watch on the volume at 3.
Yep.
But I'm really appreciative of you accepting my call, but yeah, I wanted to just talk briefly about this whole Dak winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year and that previous caller. I just think that I think it's super disheartening to know that we have a quarterback, regardless of what you think about his skills, because I know a lot of people, some people say he's average, some people say he's above average, some people think he's top 5, whatever, top 10. But to know that consistently, from Mike McCarthy to our superstar Trayvon Diggs, Michael Parsons, front office, everybody says that Dak is the first person in the building and he's the last one out. On off season, in season, Dak is the hardest worker, as you said, in the organization. Hell, he might be one of the hardest workers in the NFL, period. So for that caller to come on and say those types of things about Dak, he needs to get his head and say Dak is a human being. He is not a robot. And I said that same thing when it comes to this play. Oh, he missed throws. Like, they're going to miss throws, guys, because they're human beings. If we want a perfect quarterback, then I guess we should just start having robots play football so that we can just have perfection and precision at all costs. Like, these are players. These are human beings. But Dak Prescott, I believe Dak Prescott is a damn good player, and I think the only thing keeping him from saying people are saying he's elite is because he does not have a Super Bowl and he does not have that playoff success that people want to see from him. But we also have to acknowledge with Dak Prescott that from 2019 to now, he's been in a system that has not been predicated to his strength. But yet we continue to see Dak Prescott get better and better statistically. I know people say the eye test.
I think even the eye test, Star. I think even the eye test.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So here's the thing. We obviously have to hold him to a standard, right? That's fair enough. But what you're talking about is context. Yeah. And to many, context does not matter. It does not matter how much context you add to the equation. It won't alter their opinions. Not necessarily change their mind, right? I'm not even asking people to change their minds. Just kind of see it from that perspective, and maybe you have a better understanding, especially when you take a step back. Because the problem with us as Cowboy fans, we're often just so focused on our team. When you take a step back and you look around, you be like, "Oh, well, damn! I mean, if this guy can go, what are these teams doing? What is that guy doing? What's going on here that we can't do it here? When I know this is a good quarterback, right?" And I think you have a better perspective. You can absolutely hold him accountable, as well as having context and a perspective of what's happening around the league, and then also holding the people that you should be holding higher, the front office, to a higher standard. But that doesn't happen here because it's the easiest scapegoat is always going to be the quarterback, whether it's 9, whether it's 4, whether it's whoever the hell was next. That's always going to be the easiest scapegoat.
It's always going to be
Context
right.
is too complicated for people. They don't care about that. Who's the guy under center? It's your fault.
Yeah, it's just always Dak Prescott's fault. I don't know, and I believe a lot of the hate gets fueled from these 3. I see clips and stuff like that, but I'm not waking up and watching, First Take or Undisputed. I'm not doing that anymore, but I know there's people that do. When you have people like Skip Bayless after Dak's brother committed suicide, and then he started Safe Fight Finish, which is an initiative to help suicide prevention for youth, young adults, also helping colon cancer, and then also helping police community relations with, minorities, like helping that relationship be better. When you have people like Skip Bayless saying that Dak Prescott is weak and that he was weak to speak about mental health issues. That's the type of stuff that fuels it. And I don't know because, of course, social media was not invented during Troy Aikman's time, and I think it was just like getting really started during Romo's time. So I don't know if people were sending death threats and all types of things to these types of quarterbacks, but after Dak did an amazing first playoff game versus Tampa, and then, of course, we had that stinker versus the 49ers. After that game, Dak Prescott literally had to delete his Twitter because people were sending death threats to him and his family. Like, I think that's why I say it's not just about Dak's play. It's something else. And I get, okay, he has a star on his helmet, but I really think, it's fueled by these 3 and 4 4-letter networks that just keep saying Dak sucks, Dak's, Shady McCoy, Dak's ass. You just keep getting, they're still talking about Dak's money to this day. Like, people are still doing that.
Yeah, and he was like the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league or something like that, and he didn't even break $20 million on a cap. So when people bring up his money, I call it lazy. It's extremely lazy.
It's super lazy, Scott, but I don't want to keep harping on that. Congratulations to Dak. Dak's my guy, one of my favorite, if not my favorite player in the league, and I'm very happy that he got that award because we know he does a tremendous job on the field, but especially off the field. And then I'll just move to the Hall of Fame awards. Very happy for DeMarcus Ware. I'm sad, too, about Woody. I definitely think that Woody deserved to be in there, and I believe he keeps being in the running, but they just keep snubbing him. And I'm with the thought, like said off Chris, that it has to be some type of bias or something like that where they just don't want that many Cowboys players getting in the Hall of Fame, especially during that 90s team. I don't know what
that's
it's
the
about.
one, Star.
I don't know the.
I'm wondering if it's a 90s bias. Because I said I didn't think there was a Cowboys bias because they put D. Ware in, but I wonder if there's a 90s bias. Because
it's a 90s bias. I don't know if it's against Jerry or I don't know what it is. But it's something weird about that because a player like Woody should have been in the Hall of Fame. A player like D. Ware should have been in the Hall of Fame. So it's just really weird about that time. And just like Chris said, not any of our linemen from the Great Wall is in the Hall of Fame like that. That doesn't really make sense. So it's just a lot of weird stuff going on there. Talking about, so I'll move to the next topic, talking about the players, the player awards. I agree with all of them. I do think Micah got snubbed, but I knew once Micah tailed off at the end and Bosa continued to get sacked that they weren't going to give it to Micah. I was confused that Micah didn't get a single first place vote, but they gave one to Quentin Williams. I forgot who else was on there. Like, I'm like,
again, I would love to be a fly in the room. Like, I want to hear your reasoning to tell me that Quentin Williams was a better player than Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I don't know what. Like, I feel like Micah definitely got stuck. And maybe because Micah talks a lot, I don't know. Maybe the NFL doesn't like him. I don't know. But I think he definitely got snubbed. And then just bringing up the Trayvon Diggs, I, of course, put up on Twitter, like, I would love to get Stefon Diggs. I would give up a first-round pick for Stefon Diggs, to be honest. I mean, people might call me crazy, but I would definitely give that up.
Them practices would be lit. Do you hear me?
Yeah, to get, I would definitely get some team. Now I know, like you are getting a contract, like not gonna happen.
Hey King, I'm sorry. Star, you breaking up again. Man, this has been a fantastic call. Please do call again if you can. I understand you said you're an attorney, right? So the Cocker firm got some competition, It seemed like. But look, if you can call it again, please do. And I don't want to butcher.
Okay.
I'm gonna try not to butcher your Twitter name. So do me a favor, because I don't know if they're going to hear it over this. It keeps chopping up. But drop your Twitter handle if you want people to follow you on Twitter. Drop your Twitter handle in the chat.
Okay, I will do that. Okay, thanks, guys.
No, thank you. And I don't know what is going on today. It's not y'all. Figured it out. It's the connection or something. So hopefully next week it's all good. But man, fantastic call by Star. I felt like I might have talked to Star before, but that might have been a long time ago when I was back in PA. But good stuff there. I agree with a lot of what she was saying, for sure. Because of the situation with the phones, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it on that. Apologies. I just don't know why it's messing up today, y'all. I really don't. If there are any more, my bad. Call back in on Monday. I got you. Let's get into the chat and get up out of here. Did she drop her? And even I think something's going on with because even my restream chat is not really working. Did she drop her stats in there, or her Twitter handle in here? Oh man, Mr. Bernie, I truly don't understand. Like, I'm not going to derail the show, but are you just not listening? Are you just not hearing? What is your issue with this guy? No one's calling him the second best quarterback in the league. He's a top 10 quarterback that you can clearly get it done with, but he clearly needs help, and not just help from talent-wise, coaching-wise. And if that is a knock, then so be it. I don't give a damn. It's the things I've been saying for years. He's not a Mahomes. He's not. You know, I think it was the other day you were in the chat. Well, yeah, man, we better go get this guy because we need all the help we can get for Dak. Yeah, you do need help. You need help for all these dudes. What is the issue with getting help for these guys? Then when they don't got help and they go out there and they fail, y'all get mad at that guy. And no one says you got to stop having the help in 1 year. But like, you know what? We was good that year, but we're going to take the help away from you. Go out there and get it, big guy. I don't understand. What is it? And then you come on here every single month. You wake up. That. Bro. What happened? Y'all killing me. Look, hit the like button if you enjoyed today's show. I do want to stick with this Wheel of Fortune type of situation. I thought that was cool. And we're in the off season, so Fridays we're not really preparing for the next game. We're just talking Cowboys and talking whatever's going on that week. So we'll continue to do that, man. Subscribe if you're new here. I know at this point in time, this is mostly the diehards because we're about to get into off season talk. We're getting into free agency, and it's not the season. A lot of casual fans, and there's no disrespect to casual fans. Like most of sports fans are casual fans. They come around during the season because it's easier. It's more easy to digest. This is where the diehards live, though. And if you enjoy that type of conversation, you'll find it here. You'll find it on Lombardi. You'll find it on A to Z Sports Primetime with Mo. Make sure y'all keep it locked each and every single day, Monday through Friday. With that said, we get up out of here before we derail the show again. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Mods, appreciate y'all. Y'all also handled the situation well earlier too. Not I know y'all saying I did. I don't know. I have to go back and listen. I just try to give him his voice, listen to what he had to say and rebut. I always try to do that as long as it doesn't cross a line. I ain't gonna act like I'm not emotional. I'm emotional as well. You know, I try to check that. And in fact, y'all help me out with that as well. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Let's press this button and get up out of here, man. Y'all's the best today. Be safe out there. Don't let your Dak Prescott anger get you in trouble. Man, it's strange. It's the only word I can think of. Strange. We out of here. Peace. Love y'all. Oh yeah, go Chiefs! And the home of the Chiefs.